Alright guys, we are live. Thought I'd go live quick. Hopefully I can see the comments. Alright. I don't know if YouTube will like that or not. Are you stopping by? Tell us how you're doing. Working on this beaver tail, removing the fat. So, seeing someone come in, say hello, let us know what you're doing tonight. Work on some of these tails are going to render the fat for beaver tail oil. And pin the tails up. Hopefully get I'd like to make a wallet out of one of these tails. So. Good Friday night. Hopefully y'all are doing well. I don't go live very often, so. If you're out there, say hi. Nothing good. Oh, crap. Oh well. A little thin on that one. Oh well. That's how it goes. Guess no one's out there tonight, Friday night. Some of these other guys must be live. Beat me out. We got nobody. Nobody! Stop by. Let us know what you're doing on this Friday night. Well, this is pretty boring, so let's what's going on? This one's pretty good. Go too much deeper, end up going through on the other side. So, all right, what are y'all doing tonight? I'm working on some of these beaver tails, so. Just want to stop on, leave a comment, see if I can see the comments pop up or not. There we go. Luther, what's up, buddy? They got 6 out here now, Luther. So the idea is we're going to try to turn them into a wallet. So see, we're going to soak them, pin them up, and there's some decent size. You know, you could get some money in there, some credit cards, right? So, what are you doing tonight, Luther? But I think I have 6 halves here, so I think I have 12 right now, boy. So, pretty much just going. You can see there's a little bit of fat there. I'm just slicing off like you're filleting a fish and getting it down. So, we're going to put it here in a pickle jar with some denatured alcohol and some glycerin and let it go. So, chilling at home, all right, nothing wrong with that. Is your trapping season over, Luther? I would assume that it is. A lot of these areas are. I can beaver trap until the 31st, but besides that, everything else is closed. So I think I am done for the season, but. Might have to change the blade on this. But anyway, if you can see, that's the amount that's coming off. So I seen a wallet. You can look them up online if you type in like beaver tail wallet or whatever. Some pretty cool looking stuff on there. First one that pops up is on Etsy is like $400. So I've seen a bunch of other ones. I guess maybe $80-$100 is a going rate. So we're just gonna get a basic pattern, I guess, from online and see if we can cut it up. And there's the fat off of there. I'm just sticking it here in this glass bottle. We're gonna let it chill in there and try to get some beaver tail oil out of it. So I think that sinks to the bottom and a black oil comes to the top, and you can use that for when you make your own baits and lures, or if you want to put it at a set, if you're doing like a dirt hole set for coyote, bobcat, something like that. I must have chose a bad time to come on because we really don't have anyone coming on. Luke had a big beaver down by a property. He tried to shoot it, but it got away. Okay. Yeah, we're only allowed to trap beavers. We're not allowed to shoot them. I mean, of course, once they're trapped, if you gotta dispatch them, but there's not actually any beaver hunting. So. But they're so I think they turn into, there's that wad of fat off there, turn into like my favorite animal to trap. Maybe it's just because I did pretty well with them this year, but just from like the meat is fantastic to eat. Seen a couple other people come in. If you're there, say hello. Let us know what you're doing tonight. I'm just working on these beaver tails, so. That's a pretty decent one right there. The meat is fantastic. Yeah, you have the hide, of course, the caster. So once I'm done trimming the fat off of these tails, I'm gonna stick them. I have a big pickle jar over here. Gonna stick them in there, some denatured alcohol, some glycerin, and leave them in there to soften up for like a week. So once they come out, they should be tanned. I think they call that like a rattlesnake type tan. And I'll pin them up on my boards and stretch them out. And then after about a week of that, hopefully we'll be able to turn them into any kind of leather product that you want. So I think my wife's going to find a pattern and for a wallet that I want. And we'll try to, it'll be pretty cool looking. Kind of scaly, like they do rattlesnake or alligator or something like that. So look them up online. There's some people that make them, but beaver tail wallets or other leather type goods, pretty cool. So it's pretty much just showing myself. I know YouTube can get weird with this stuff sometimes. So, got about a bottle filled up there already of the fat. I guess I don't have much left. Have you ever tried to eat I guess if Luther's still there, you ever tried to eat the beaver, Luther, or haven't you guys caught one yet? If you do catch one or get one while you're hunting or whatever your laws are there, don't waste the meat. Take those hindquarters and that back strap and put it in something maybe you guys would make like you use for beef in a crock pot type recipe. Use it in that, and that's some fantastic meat. We've got a wild game dinner coming up here in a couple weeks, and I think I'm gonna make 2 crock pot dishes of beaver for that. So I have to run up here. There's a guy he's got a barbecue shop. The beaver one time it was pretty good, but we shot it. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's not as much meat on there as you would think. When I caught 4 last weekend. I was actually at some of these tails I'm working on here, but 4 last weekend. And the 3 smallest ones, I cut all the meat off of them, front, hindquarters, and the back straps, and only got about a gallon size freezer bag of meat. But then the largest, that was a smaller 3. The largest one, I think, ended up getting 37 pounds. I ended up getting a gallon bag of meat off of him. So it was basically the meat, the 3 of those smaller ones ended up, being the same as one. I don't know what a 37 pounder, if that's just if that's a 2-year-old or, 3-year-old, I don't know. I'm not, whole beaver stuff is all pretty new to me. If you haven't said hi to us yet, if you pop on in, say hello. Just working on some beaver tails. Gonna get them soaking. Get this fat rendered. Get some beaver tail oil. Be my first time trying that. Tails, you are here. There's this one. Pretty decent size one. Got anything cool coming up that's going on? Luther had been here before. I don't know if he's still in. Someone else come in. Luther's back again. Yeah, well, I hope you guys get that one that you missed, Luther. That would be cool. I think now is the time where they're kind of getting rid of the smaller ones too. So kicking them out, they go. I guess start their own life, I guess. Move into a new territory. I don't know if you saw the last 2 videos I had was from last weekend when I was in the kayak actually going after them. That was pretty pretty wild. Wore my old butt out, that's for sure. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, but it wore me out, so. I think Friday. Yeah, you gotta watch for that. When I went out Friday, it was in the 30s. I think it was closer to freezing when I went out. Probably by the time I left, maybe it was 35, maybe 40. I don't know. But when you're getting in and out of the kayak like that, you're asking for trouble. So I had set trap number 13, and I had 2 more to set, and I just jumped in. I had to go get the kids from somewhere, so I was in a hurry, and I jumped in the kayak and just put too much weight on the one side and rolled over it. It was in my waders. It was cold. My gear went flying everywhere. I lost some lure down in the bottom. I had a trap went flying out, so that was trap number 14 went flying out, and then I went back and found that. I used a magnet. I found that the next day, so I was down to one final trap on a really awesome. Yeah, and it was pretty cold. I had a jacket on, so it didn't really penetrate inside the. A jacket was completely soaked, but it didn't get too much inside, so I really would have thought I would have gotten a lot of water down in the waders, but I really didn't. So I was lucky that way. It wasn't like I was in the middle of some, a river or a lake or some big, like a bay or something, some crazy body of water. I was right on the bank, so, but rolled it nonetheless. So then I paddled up into where I wanted to go and set that last trap, and that something was wrong with it. It was a brand new trap, but it just would not set. So it was the Duke number 4, and I was down there at my buddy's house today. He put it in the vise and adjusted it a little bit and got it. It's good now, but it didn't help me last week. So in that one spot where I was trying to set those last 2 and I couldn't, I had saved 6 traps. So 2, unfortunately, were out of commission, and the 4 that I set, I caught 3 beavers off those 4. So yeah, I never had that happen. A few new guys came in. Hey, let us know what you're doing tonight. I'm just working on these beaver tails. Yeah, I'd never had that happen on a brand new trap. Just something was off, and even like Daniel said, I had one set. He wanted to see what the number 4s look like. And I set one for him, and then I said, oh, hey, this is the one that wouldn't set last week. Let's, look at this one. So then I pushed it down right beside it, and he saw that the bar was off or whatever, so he put it in the vise, beat it down. Hey, Boxy, how are you, buddy? I'm working on now. I'm going to render the fat. I'm working on this. My buddy, when we split them earlier today, he took the big section of like with the bone and stuff out. He's gonna get me some beaver tail oil too. But my goal is to, hey Dan, how are you doing, buddy? I'm gonna try to make a wallet out of one of these. So I saw some cool pictures online of some beaver tail wallets. So that is my goal. I'm going to I think it's like a rattlesnake type tan. Yeah, we got some good people in here, Dan and Judith and Boxy. Forgot his name now. Luther. Luther was talking to me there for a while, but I'm going to try to make a tail out of this. Make a tail out of it. Try to make a wallet. So, pulled some of that stuff, popped up on Etsy though. Type in beaver tail wallet. The first thing that pops up is like a $400 wallet. It looks beautiful, but anyway, I guess the people that are making them on there is like 80 or $100 or whatever. Seems pretty basic. To try to get a pattern online, and my wife said she'll help me try to make it. So we'll see what happens. The way my buddy did them with the denatured alcohol, and yeah, Luther, give it a try. I'll let you know how it goes. He used the denatured alcohol and the glycerin as like the rattlesnake tan or whatever. And if you watch videos like I was trying, you'll see that they fade on a lot of those methods that they were using. The method that he used, they kept their, dark brown chocolate color. So I don't know. I've never seen any. Lots of times they talk about how you have to dye them and stuff. Whatever color you want, because they lose it during the tanning process. So I don't know what it is about this, what makes it different. It's the first time we're trying it, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it is successful. If not, we'll find another method. But I've got 2 more to do. And I'm going to stick them in that solution for like 5 days, 7 days, and see what happens. But he had all his pinned on the board, and then he took a few off, and they were fantastic. They were pretty pliable. They weren't soft, obviously, but they weren't hard either. Like you could come down. Like they seemed like if you trimmed them, and they were pretty close to go on whatever you wanted to make them for. If you're going to add a lining, or I don't know what we're going to try to do, but that one there is pretty close. So all this one that's all chewed up. Let's see. That one's special to me. Hold on. The one that's all messed up, that was the first beaver I ever caught earlier in the season. That's the one that went 48 pounds. So I guess he was a little bit older guy, had a messed up tail. So then there's that little tiny baby there. So he showed me some ideas for making some like a sheath for a knife, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's kind of not the perfect, the perfect one to make anything out of, but the first beaver I caught was the largest one I ever caught. So I had videos. It was 47, 48 pounds. It wasn't quite 50, but anyway, so we'll see what happens. I think the coolest thing about the beavers is what you can do with them. The meat's fantastic. I caught those 4 last weekend, kind of for the purpose. Checkbook covers, stuff like that. Dan, there's they make phone cases. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So this is new to us. I don't know how far we're going to take it or whatever, but I have a wallet that I need a new one. So I figured by the time we put them in solution and get them tanned, tack them up, stretch them out, and do all that kind of stuff, maybe within a month or so, I can have me a new wallet. So, but I caught those 4 for a wild game dinner we're going to have in about a week. So they announced that they were going to serve beaver there. So that meant that Andrew had to go in to catch some. So we were successful last weekend. I think, like I was telling Luther on there earlier, that in that new area, if I had a few, I'd never been there before, and it's where I ended up catching those 3 at on Saturday. But I caught 3 on 4 traps, and I had planned to set 6 traps there, but when I flipped the kayak in the water on Friday, there went 1 trap, which left me down to the last one I had, which I went up and tried to set and couldn't get it set. Couldn't really see what was wrong with it, but it was a brand new trap. So anyway, that would have been, that's hindsight kind of being hopeful. But I'm like, if I set 6 in, I think some of y'all seen those videos or commented, but some of those runs, if I get some 330s next year, that would be a good place to put some 330s. And so I kind of think if I would have gotten 6 out, I probably would have been able to catch 4, if not 5 beaver. That was a spot I had not been at yet. And then when you get three beaver on 4 traps, and you have 9 left, you kind of just think best day ever, which for me. I had fine reception for a long time, and now it was gone. So I'll probably just keep it this way. I only got 2 more left, so sorry if I lost you guys. I don't know what happened with my reception, so but. Or if somebody's back. Sorry if I lost you all. I don't know what happened with the reception or where I even was on the story when I finished, but I think I was just talking about how beaver turned into like my favorite animal. All right, yeah. Hey, PA Trapping. How are you, buddy? And yeah, sorry, Boxy. I don't know. I was on here for 25 minutes and no issues. So anyway, got 1 more I'll work on. But I think I was talking about the meat for the that wild game dinner. So they announced that I was going to be bringing beaver meat, and I didn't have any in the freezer, so I had to go catch 4. So that's kind of how that happened. And what they kind of started in on is using the meat is awesome. I'm just going to make it in a crock pot, kind of like a Mississippi pot roast style, like we made last time. I think I'm going to make 2, like with the ranch and pepperoncinis and all that kind of stuff. And that turned out good. And then the other one, Meat Eater, Stephen Renalia has I think it's called Beaver Trapper. One of the local stores, crazy because we don't normally see too much specialty stuff like that, but one of the places that sells like pellet smokers and all that kind of stuff, they have that line of Meat Eater. I think Spiceology might make it, but so I think I'm going to make one with ranch and a whole stick of butter and pepperoncinis and all that kind of stuff. And then the other crock pot, I think I will season with that Meat Eater Beaver Trapper seasoning, and then probably a stick of butter. And I think it's kind of more like a barbecue type seasoning, dry rub, paprika, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if I want to add pepperoncinis to that or not. I don't know. But hopefully y'all are having a good Friday night. Let me know what you're doing. I'm just working on these beaver tails, getting some fat off, trying to get the process on them getting tanned. So maybe I can get me a new wallet or something like that. Now my son wants a wallet too, and maybe have to use some of the other hides. The daughters are talking about purses out of beaver tail, so I don't know how that would go, but kind of wallet stuff like that. So yeah, tacos will probably be fine if you just, I haven't run it through the grinder yet. I just kind of, took it off the quarters, cleaned it up, got all the fat and the silver skin and all that off. But I'm sure beaver tacos would be good. I want to make jerky. I have a bag from before that I want to run through the slicer and try to make jerky out of. I mean, I think they'd probably turn out pretty good. So I don't know. It's not something around here. This is all like, I mean, it's all new to me, but people aren't really used to. But they announced about that dinner, and I was just getting people coming up and talking to me and sending me texts and all excited. Sorry, Luther, you had a comment that shot up and it was gone. All excited about trying this beaver. So, see how it is. But anyway, refresh through. I think some of y'all came in later for what I'm doing. But PA says her deer burgers are good. Never ground it other than making. Okay. I had a bunch of this on the deer, which didn't exactly go the way I wanted it to. So I really only deer hunted like a couple days, and that turned out. I was very, very blessed. I was able to get that 8-point on public land on like maybe my 5th hour hunting right before our rifle season came in. I got it. I have not been shooting my compound, so I've been having the crossbow out there. All right, got 7 people in here now. Let us know what you're doing. Thanks for joining us, and let us know what you're doing on this Friday night. But anyway, so I got that deer, and then I figured it's probably good to try to catch a few beavers because